Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Richie Wrong, and I'm here with a video on decision making to increase your chances for the victory royale in Fortnite. I believe through each and every meta that this is the most important aspect of winning, even before all the building, aiming, editing, and etc. People have gotten better at all those things, but you'd be surprised to find that they still don't get the win and they still don't get the amount of kills they want. Why? It's pretty simple. Bad decision making. Now, I'm not going to go into detail so much about game mechanics as I think you can't really teach muscle memory. Those are things to practice in creative and then apply in real game situation. I could do a video on best ways to practice those, but I'll save that for the future after we've covered what I personally think is more important. I used to be a person who just played strictly through game mechanics, but ever since I've started slowing my game down and really been thinking about what I've been doing, I've been getting more kills and more wins. So with that being said, let's get started with the first point. Now, the first point I want to talk about is landing. Everyone has their own preference during landing, and that's simply okay. You can land wherever you want. With all the mobility Fortnite offers now, you can get to pretty much anywhere on the map in a matter of seconds. This is useful for just entering zone or immediately pushing players after you're done looting at your favorite place. The thing with landing is a lot of people have trouble coming out of the place they land at if there's other players there. This is because they're not scoping the area and keeping aware of who else is coming and where they're landing. Knowing where your opponents are early game is extremely important because I'm sure you've landed and didn't get your dream loadout. Since this might be the case, knowing where the enemy is can buy you time to either find what you need or simply think of a play to work with what you have. People tend to 50-50 weapons, but personally I think 50-50ing is just how it sounds. You're either killing the player or going back to the lobby early. Another problem with 50-50ing a chest or weapon is lack of loadout to fight other players. 50-50ing the chest in the middle of Pleasant Park is a terrible idea. This is because you might not get the gun, take pickaxe damage, along with running the risk of not having shields and meds. You're then susceptible to everyone hearing your fight in the middle of Pleasant Park, and everyone is going to see you as an easy kill. Playing it safe to get you set up is always the better move. I used to have a problem with getting annoyed with my loot and just head on rush, hoping I can get a quick kill with a gray pistol. That method barely works. Instead, I decided that there's no shame in hiding behind right-hand peek areas to either wait for someone to push me or let them pass by. I know, people will call it camping, but what's more important? Being able to play a potentially full game and win? Or go back to the lobby after you spent 5 minutes getting in? Engagement. Whether or not your playstyle is pushing or turtling, you are bound to run into a player whether you are pushing them or they're spraying your turtle. Whether or not you avoid fights, you are almost always forced to fight in the top 3. So this aspect of decision making applies to all playstyles. If you're a person who pushes without mobility, your choices before a full out fight should always be chip damage. You want your opponent as weak as possible before you officially go in for a kill. Always get some chip damage outside of pushing range before you actually push. You can do this with your AR or with a sniper. With a sniper, it's the icing on the cake if you can avoid any interaction with this player by simply hitting him with a one and done headshot. You can also just wait for a sneak attack if the player is moving towards you and has no idea they're coming your way. I know this is easier said than done, but it's very crucial to make a fight as easy as possible before you're in an all-out, close-range shotgun or SMG fight. If you're someone who turtles as much as they can and prefers to sit in 1x1s in zone, you're bound to get someone who is going to push and spray you. Don't get overwhelmed and freak out. Use turbo build to your advantage and really weigh out your options here. Are they spamming one wall? Are they on top of me? Knowing the actions of these players can easily help in your favor to dictate a fight. If they get in your box, be ready to trap them or shoot them while they have their editing map out. If you don't have a trap and they're only pressuring one wall, be ready to edit out and take high ground or change the fighting terms. As I mentioned in this particular subheading, pick your fights. Although there is nothing wrong with avoiding a fight, I'm just saying if you do want to fight, look for people you know you can have a higher advantage on. Not the person who looks like they'll outbuild you, not the person who keeps tagging you well, and not the person you have to burn through mats just to get up to. You never want to fight on somebody else's terms. Building too much versus building too little. It's Season 9 and you should be able to build at least the bare minimum. For example, throwing up a couple walls and ramps to do what you need to do. I believe this is personally all you need, as I know some players who are not the strongest builders but can still win as they can build by the bare minimum. Building is also a double-edged sword in which you can do either too much or too little. To me, building too much is going so high that you've lost sight of your opponent. It's almost not even worth it to be that high up and not be able to take any shots on your opponent. You're never going to actually win a fight if you can't land any shots and are better off with pre-chip damage. It's also a pointless map burner to be building unnecessarily. Now for building too little. To me, building too little is when you're not building defensively. You need to be able to defend yourself from shots and be able to get some height on your opponent to make it difficult for them to kill you at least. You don't have to be constantly coning people in order to win a fight. Turtling up and weighing your options like I mentioned before can help you win a build fight. Players get annoyed and will drop to fight you, and from there you can utilize your strengths in the fight. Actually healing. Well, this is an obvious point, isn't it? Well, you'd be surprised by how many people really don't heal as much as they should. The moment someone hits you with a big shot and your shield is drained with a majority of your health gone, that is your immediate cue to heal right away. Whatever you have, whether it's bandies, minis, or a campfire. Unless you have 200 health, you can become one shot to very many weapons when you're super low. Make sure you look for breaks during a fight for a time you can heal. You can simply just build or run away to heal. Knowing where there's natural campfires, mushrooms, and apples is always a great thing to know when you're in need. This has helped me avoid using any of the meds in my inventory for later use. To add to the topic of inventory, I would advise carrying minis or the new Chug Splash as the fastest type of healing you can find. I know they don't put you up to 200, but unless you're playing squads, you'll almost never have time to get a chug, half pot, or med kit off in time during a fight. Closing out the game. Your palms are sweaty and there's vomit on your sweater already. Nah, I'm just joking. But on a serious note, you're getting nervous because it's 1v1 endgame now and the circle is small and moves. That's just it though. It's really just another guy you've been fighting like the rest. If you go in with the mindset that you will destroy this person, then you will carry it out. Just as long as you're still thinking about your decisions. If you're playing it safe, box up, get high ground, and wait for their move and attack whenever you see fit. If you're playing aggressive, get your chip damage before you go in for the finisher and the for sure shot. Don't get into a jump shotty fight when you should have a bit of material and healing left. The fight may even end in a heal off. Take this fight slow, think about what you're doing, attack on openings, and claim that victory royale. I know this topic was short, and the reason why is because I truly believe you should treat this fight like it's just another player in the lobby. There is really no difference besides your mindset and confidence at this point. Well, that concludes today's video on decision making. To see these situations live and in-game, check out my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/RichieWrong. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment on this video if it helped, and subscribe as well as turn on notifications for my next video.